military operation in Ukraine and invaded a sovereign nation. It was many days before that when the first crypto initiative to support Ukrainians was actually founded, Ukraine DAO, which actually was established on the 21st, a few days before the invasion, with the knowledge that something would be coming soon. 2 days after the invasion, on February 26th, I was honored to be able to support the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine in launching the Aid for Ukraine crypto fundraising campaign. That was the Saturday. By Monday, we had already raised over $100 million across the wallets for the government and top NGOs like Come Back Alive and World Central Kitchen. That was the same day where the European Union said that they would give 100 million euro in humanitarian aid, but 109 million had already hit wallets and was being spent in crypto and Bitcoin and USDT and Tether to purchase medical supplies, to purchase food rations, to purchase the first defensive equipment to protect lives in Ukraine. The speed at which the crypto community was able to react saved so many lives and has continued to play a massive role in supporting humanitarian aid operations within the country. It wasn't just the Aid for Ukraine and the crypto wallets of the big NGOs that benefited. Tons of NFT artists and crypto activists from around the world were able to, instead of representing a sovereign nation, were able to donate to support humanitarian aid through creating artist collections, through creating their own funds, through launching wallets for smaller NGOs and CBOs that were working both inside and outside of Ukraine. And now we've raised hundreds of millions of dollars in crypto and billions of dollars in fiat, and it has been such an incredibly important movement for a country that has been leading the world in both digital operations as well as leading the world in crypto. President Zelensky, wearing combat gear, signed a bill legalizing digital assets within the country, and now the official government wallets on the Aid for Ukraine campaign accept 15 different cryptocurrencies officially. This movement has been so incredibly important. I want to make sure that there's plenty of time for questions, and I'm going to hand it over to Olive. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think you got the main points. It's always a very sensitive subject matter and very deeply difficult for me personally. I'm a Russian citizen. When I heard about what's happening, I was so devastated, just heartbroken. I escaped the government more than 10 years ago, moving to the US, and it's just been getting perpetually worse and worse. And the war is just the last bit of it. And yeah, I decided to burn my passport because I didn't see myself ever be able to exist in that reality, ever coming back, ever, I don't know, living in the country and supporting this government. So I went to Russian consulate and I burned my passport to say that I stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. That was important for me, but then I realized, like, how else can I help? What else can I do? So NFTs came naturally, idea of NFT in it, and raising funds for Ukraine, because I came from the space. I've been an NFT artist since 2018, since the inception of the space itself. So that's what I did, and I donated the funds by giving blood to an amazing organization called Save the Children, to help the humanitarian efforts in this very difficult moment. Yeah, basically what I'm seeing in the community, a lot of people came together very rapidly and decided, hey, it's time to take action. We have the power to do something, right? The power of art is really a power, right? And the power of community. It's just me seeing that just warmed my heart. A lot of friends of mine, artists, a lot of people in the space. Yeah, created various campaigns very rapidly and raised, I don't know, I mean, hard to sum up how much, but a lot of money, and we keep doing it. It's an ongoing initiative. And I feel like a lot of people realize that crypto is not as evil as, and NFTs are not as evil as they've been portrayed in the media so far. But it's very effective fundraising tools and great way to make a difference very quickly. You know, like basically in a matter of hours, the money got to the wallets of Ukraine, and where the monies are needed, literally, very, very rapidly. So I can't imagine that would happen in the traditional art world or any charity gala benefit, whatever it is, or any traditional ways of doing it. So it's pretty groundbreaking, and the fact that the country is embracing digital currency, I think it's an enormous step forward in worldwide acceptance of crypto. I mean, yeah. If you guys have any questions, please.
Just want to raise your hand. You can hand up the microphone.
We're always happy to speak more and talk more about it. If you guys have not yet seen, one of the best ways to get involved that we'd love for the public to know about, of course, if they are in the crypto community, is to go to donate.thedigital.gov.ua. You can find it on my Twitter account, which is @ownyourdata.now. The link is donate.thedigital.gov.ua, and that is the Aid for Ukraine official Ministry of Digital Transformation wallets that accept 15 different cryptocurrencies. You can also donate NFTs there. It was just a couple days ago where the CryptoPunk that was actually donated was sold for 90 ETH. So there are a lot of NFTs that are being auctioned all over the world, and the money is being sent. Also, just NFTs are being sent, and then you can buy them from the government NFT wallet, which is incredible. Obviously, now that we are nearly 4 months past the start of the invasion, press attention on the war in Ukraine, and therefore donations to both the government and to all of the humanitarian aid organizations that are accepting money in both crypto and fiat have drastically declined. It's important that the world does not forget that Ukraine is still at war. There are still important sites all over Ukraine that are being bombed every day. The aggressor is specifically seeking to wipe out the cultural heritage monuments of Ukraine, let alone the hospitals, the schools. And so it is incredibly important that the world's eyes continue to remain on Ukraine, and that we put our money where our mouth is, and that we financially support the people of Ukraine and the incredible aid organizations that are also working both inside and outside of Ukraine. Of course, now there have been millions, now tens of millions of people displaced or that have had to go over the border as refugees. 44 million Ukrainians, and not too many of them have been able to stay in their hometown. So that is a huge amount of work that needs to go into humanitarian operations, both for internally displaced people and for refugees outside of the country. And so many organizations that it actually takes to make sure these people have shelter, food, that their basic human rights and their medical care is taken care of. So I ask for all of the members of the press here to please continue to cover this. Please continue to point people to organizations and sites where they can support. There are so many incredible organizations that are working day in, day out to save lives and to protect the human rights of Ukrainians and, of course, other refugees and displaced people who were living in Ukraine before, who might not hold a Ukrainian passport, but their lives are just as important.
You mentioned you can donate in a lot of different cryptocurrencies. Do you think the recent downturn has deterred people from continuing to donate, or have you seen numbers go down?
Well, actually, the downturn in donations happened even before the crash. You know, once you get, once people have ended the momentum of a huge launch of a campaign. It starts to peter out. So we have started to announce many other ways that people can get involved to kind of relaunch the campaign and show other exciting ways where people can help. For instance, on stage at Consensus in Austin on Saturday, we announced with the Ministry of Digital and the Ukraine Blockchain Association a new initiative to digitize all of Ukraine's heritage, and starting with items that are in museums and cultural heritage sites that have not yet sustained any damage, making sure to do 3D renderings of them all so that they are permanently preserved forever in a digital museum. And then we will begin to work on sites that have already been destroyed, rebuild them digitally, and use NFT auctions and metaverse business models in order to fund the reconstruction of the physical sites once the war is over. Also, if you have not seen metahistory.gallery, that is the first ever government NFT collection and initiative. Metahistory.gallery, it's called the Museum of War, and the entire point of that is to encrypt on the blockchain facts, time, places, locations of things that have happened in the war, so none of Russia's disinformation campaigns can change the truth. So the whole point of using blockchain technology in this particular instance is so that something is permanent and immutable. When an NFT is encrypted in the Museum of War, they put the time, place, location, and a fact that no amount of money and disinformation campaigns from Russia will ever be able to delete.
I have two questions. The first one is, if I wanted to hold like a charity event for Ukraine, and I wanted to raise enough NFTs or just donations in general, so let's say it was like just regular money or even like clothing or any sort of things that will help them for anything that they need. Is there any sort of representative that I can contact in order to set one up?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm happy to help you with that just because the government is super busy, but they're happy to work in partnership with you. Also, any of the top or even smaller NGOs, CBOs, charities that are working in this space would love to benefit from any kind of funds you would like to raise. So you can contact me, Brittany, at ownyourdata.foundation. I can connect you to any of the founders. I can connect you to the Ministry of Digital, the Ministry of Culture, wherever you would like the funds to go. Happy to do that.
Okay, because that was my next question. Like, if I wanted to donate like anything else, I was wondering who to go to, but I'll definitely reach out to you after.
Absolutely, and so the two places where funds can be directed as well, for anyone here that doesn't have time to coordinate with people, but you want to raise funds and put them somewhere, you can donate directly on donate.thedigital.gov.ua. You can donate in fiat and in cryptocurrencies. Also, UA24.com is the regular fiat currency fundraising platform that was launched by President Zelensky at Davos. So you can also donate there. You can choose where your money is going to support the military, education and awareness campaigns, medical, rebuilding Ukraine. So it's really nice to be able to choose what you're actually doing to help and direct your funds accordingly.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Hi, Brittany.
I have a question. I'm from Forbes, Cassie Jones, and I'm wondering, can you articulate the actual dollar or an impact that crypto and NFTs have had on the invasion in Ukraine, and what, apart from your organization, has it had impact on what specific areas in education and government, etc.?
Of course, so there are tons of crypto initiatives that have come from groups all over the world, even individual NFT artists that have launched their own collections and then donated, or even NFT collectors from around the world that decided to buy out all of the collections of all Ukrainian NFT artists to help directly. But it has been in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I would say it's closer to at least $500 million from the NFT community, from direct crypto donations that have gone into the government wallets, Come Back Alive, World Central Kitchen, a lot of the other NGOs and CBOs like Save Ukraine, who are mostly working on bringing the most vulnerable children, elderly, single mothers with their children to safety, both internally displaced and refugees. There are a lot of crypto companies that decided to donate directly, such as Kraken and FTX. If a Ukrainian already had a wallet on their platform, they were given between $25 and $1,000. If you set up a new wallet, they were also given money directly. So there have been tons of different ways that that individuals have been either supported directly through NGOs, CBOs, and charities, or the government. And the government actually published, and they're going to continue to publish, how they are spending all of this money. So the last report that came out, they published the last $45 million in cryptocurrencies that they spent, and you can see an itemized list of everything that was spent out of those wallets, which is absolutely incredible for government transparency. And should you wish to go do your own research, you can actually look on the blockchain and see all the money that has come in publicly and all of the money that has come out and where it's gone. And they've accounted for that and said, this was a purchase of this was a purchase of that, this was medical kits, this was bulletproof vests, this was night vision goggles. And, I mean, that's a revolution, because most governments do not have much transparency around government spending.
I think that's all we have time for. Thank you both so much, and thanks everyone for joining.